everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So this is going to be another Discord Q&A. So first of all, thank you so much for posting all of your questions there on Discord. If you want to take part in these Q&As, definitely go follow my Discord. The link is down below. I mean, we actually just passed 1,800 members. We're actually really close to 1,900 already, which is really amazing. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun, honestly. Like, if you just want to talk Walking Dead with people in general, there are so many people in there all the time talking about The Walking Dead and a bunch of other things too. Like, we have The Walking Dead and we have a bunch of different channels for the different shows. Like, we'll have Walking Dead. We actually have Isle of the Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Tales, and then the Rick movie. And then we also have a Walking Dead comic discussion, just because, I mean, that channel's not too active, but like the comics are kind of alive with the deluxe issues, and you never know, like they might come up with a new series at some point. So that's kind of there just because, I mean, at some point we could close it down if it's really, really dead, but you know, people will sometimes like talk in there about things here and there. So yeah, anyways, we have a lot there. You go down and there's a bunch of other things here in terms of Marvel, DC, Star Wars, gaming, anime, horror movies, sports talk. There's House of the Dragon, The Last of Us. There's a game chat there, I guess, for people who are playing games and stuff. If you want to go just chat with people in there, you can do that. It's a voice chat. We added a lot of games to the houses. We still have to add some to a couple of the houses, but yeah, there's a Pokemon game there in House Alexandria, and you have to choose your house. That's the whole thing here. You actually have to choose the house you want to belong in. So if you think you would be a part of Alexandria, you would just choose that, and then yeah, or whatnot. There's like the Commonwealth and etc. If you join the Commonwealth, actually, there's a baking game you can play there, and I thought that was kind of cool to add to that. Anyways, yeah, the Discord is a really fun place to be, and yeah, it's only growing. We're so close to 200 members now. Like, it's just bananas. It's crazy. So yeah, again, thank you so much to all the members on Discord for posting your questions. Whenever I do Q&As, just in general, I always get my questions from there. I actually might be doing a Twitter one tomorrow, but that's very rare that I'll do that. That might be like every few months or something like that. Mostly it's on Discord, but yeah, again, thank you so much for posting all of your questions. If you want to join the server, the link is down below in the description. The server name is Appetite for the Dead. As always, this video will contain spoilers for the most recent episode that has aired, so that would be episode 14. And also make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this. But let's actually get into the first question here. So the first question here from the Brian111. Do you think it's possible Annie is faking her pregnancy so Maggie wouldn't kill Negan? I mean, if she kills Negan, she'd leave Annie in the same situation that Maggie's in. You know what? I've had first thought that, because she's like eating that, what is it, ginger or something like that? I can't remember what she had in her hand. She was eating a little bit of that, and the way she did it was almost in a way where she was trying to look at Maggie, almost like she wanted Maggie to notice. And so right away in my head, I was like, okay, she has to be faking this. Like, that just seems so fake. But I don't think they would do that. That's kind of a lot. Why would she, like, in general, she seems like a really good person. You know, so I don't think she's going to fake that just because there's really no reason. It seems like Negan really likes being around her in general. So I don't think she's faking that. I think that's a little bit too crazy. But what I will say is, yeah, I do think at some point Annie's probably going to die, and Annie could die with Negan's baby. And also, I think that could be one part of the equation, I guess, in terms of Maggie being able to forgive Negan. I will say it kind of comes out of nowhere, though. Like, we'll see where the story goes. Obviously, just sort of like it just happened out of nowhere, and there has been like 4 or 5 months that have passed by. But it doesn't really feel like it's been 4 or 5 months, and for something like really big like this to happen, you know, for Negan to have a child on the way just seems so crazy. I don't know, I'm in disbelief of that. And if that child and Annie die, you know, if that's the thing that makes Maggie forgive Negan, and, you know, because like she realizes, oh, he's experiencing this too. I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen that way. Like, maybe that's a contributing factor, fine. But I hope it's something else that has kind of been building up for a bit, because just introducing a character, introducing this out of left field just to get the point across, right? To get Maggie to forgive him, I think is kind of dumb. It's too random. It's way too random. If you could choose 2 characters from any Walking Dead show to get a duo spinoff, who would those characters be? Well, if I could choose 2 characters, and I'm assuming you mean just from any show, so I can choose even like 1 character from whatever show. Well, I would go with Morgan and with Rick. I'd probably have to go with those 2 characters. Like, I want to see that. I really want to see those characters interact a lot more. The last time they did, obviously, was in season 8, and even in season 6, you know, I thought we were going to get a lot more interaction between the 2, but we didn't. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought Morgan and Rick were like so tight, like they're the original characters. We always say Carol and Daryl are original, but I'm like, no, Morgan is more original. Like he was there in the very beginning with Rick. Those two go back to like the very opening minutes basically of the entire show. And so I was disappointed in season 6 when it didn't really seem like they were that close, which makes sense. They didn't spend that much together. But I don't know, I figured that there was like this understanding of what happened there because of, it was so early on and they found each other, they survived, but it ended up being nothing. So yeah, if I could choose two characters, it would be Rick and Morgan, because I want to see so much more there, because I think there's so much more there. And yeah, I'm right now I'm praying that the movies are going to focus on that. Q&A, April's name is on the list found by Kelly and Connie. My assumption is that it's a list of people who went against the Commonwealth that Lance told Carol about. What do you think about it? Also, a lot of people thought it was Mercer who gave them the list, but he didn't know about Lance sending people to get the money. So who do you think it was? Yeah, well, see, the thing is about this is it still could be Mercer, because yes, Mercer didn't know that it was Lance that was sending people to get the money and to do all of that. Like Mercer had no idea what was going on, but Mercer does know that people went missing. I don't think he knows why, right? Like he knew that Tyler Davis was in trouble, this and that, and he knew Tyler Davis, but it was just that he went missing, and so he's wondering what the hell happened to him, right? Like it doesn't seem like he knows that much. He's just assuming something bad happened. So it's very possible like he knew what happened to April or whatever, and he knew that there was something there, but he just didn't know that, she was gone like that and she was doing that. So I don't know. But I mean, obviously that is the one thing that we're all going to assume, right? That it was Mercer that did it. And so who else could have sent the list? I mean, I could see Carol being the one to do it, but I think Carol just kind of found out this information, so I don't think it would be her. It's possible it was Max. It could be a new character, to be honest. It could be a new character that is about to leak this stuff. Like we have really, in all honesty, we have no idea where this is going. As of now, I'm just sticking with Mercer because that seems to be the most logical answer here, but it really could be anyone. It could actually literally be anyone. It could be a brand new character. Next question. Imagine Pamela Milton gave them the list. Pamela Milton doesn't really seem that evil in the sense of Lance, who will kill anyone and do anything for his wants. Pamela is just a politician who entered the political field later on in her life. Maybe she wants Lance to be taken down because she sees he might become a threat to her power. I don't know. Just cool to think about. That is also something that is interesting. Yeah. Pamela Milton, I've been seeing some people saying that like, oh, it's weird. Pamela Milton doesn't even seem like a villain. Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of the arc. Like Pamela Milton, in the comic wasn't really the villain. The whole Commonwealth arc, it wasn't your typical, like, our group versus the Whisperers or our group versus the Saviors or the Governor and whatnot, or Woodbury, I guess. It wasn't that typical where it's like good versus evil. It's sort of just like what's right and what's wrong. Everybody's good for the most part, right? You just have some really bad people doing bad things, and they're surrounded by good people, though, and they're in a good place and they can try to justify it. So it's a lot of like, coming back to normal. Again, I compare season 11 a lot to season 1 because in season 1, it was a lot of that, right? Season 1 and 2, it was a lot about, there wasn't any like outright villain, right? It was more of just like perspective on things. Later on, it became more of like the governor's bad. He's the villain. You know what I mean? Season 1 and 2 was very much just our group trying to survive, and they would encounter these little situations, and, it was more of a debate on like what's right and what's wrong. And sometimes, Shane would come into that. You would have Dale that would come into that. There's the whole Randall situation. We're kind of in the same place right now, right? Where we're going back to normal, and it's our group just trying to live in this place, but then there's a bunch of drama happening, and they're trying to figure out what's right or what's wrong, but they're literally in the community. It's not like Maggie's at the hilltop, but like everyone else is living within the community that is causing all these problems. So the Commonwealth arc in general, yeah, it's not necessarily they're not villains. It's like certain people like Lance. And so to go back to the question you have, did Pamela send the list? I still don't really see that, because that's Pamela Milton being good. She's just sort of not in the know of things. Like she understands things, she might approve of things, but she's so just like out of touch with reality that I don't think she realizes what she's doing completely. She has people just kind of feeding her certain information. Yeah, I don't really think she knows too much about that. So that's why I wouldn't, I would assume that it wasn't her, though I could totally see Max being the one to leak that out. But then again, it really depends because like she could have told Eugene that information, right? So we'll have to see where this goes. Episode 15 is going to get into all of this though, so I'm really excited. Q&A, do you think DARYL is forced to kill LEAH because LEAH wants revenge, that wants to hurt/kill someone from our group, maybe Maggie? I don't know about that. I don't know if she's going to want revenge for that. Maybe. I hope not. I really hope not. I talked about this on Twitter the other day. I really don't want DARYL to be the one to kill LEAH. I don't even want LEAH to die. I want LEAH to join our group because I think she could be a really great character. But we're going to have to wait and see where it goes because I really, honestly, when it comes to LEAH, I have no idea where they're going. She came out of nowhere. Like the whole storyline came out of nowhere. I thought her purpose was the Reaper arc, but that just kind of seems so random. So I'm trying to think of like, why is she even on the show? Like everything with her and her story just seems kind of pointless. So I'm hoping she joins for the sake of like, just joining the group, being a part of our group, because then, the last however many episodes that she's been on the show was more of her backstory. And now she's here. Now is the beginning of her real arc, right? And that's why I'm hoping she doesn't get Aaron's death, because that means the whole arc she's had so far was just built up to that moment, which again, overall is going to feel very random, very underwhelming. And yeah, I don't think LEAH deserves that death. I think Aaron does, need a bigger death. Like, how do you think they will set up part C of season 11? It looks like a lot of the Commonwealth arc is happening in 11B, with maybe the Dwight comic death, the riots, etc. happening already. So I'm wondering how they will end the Commonwealth arc. Well, the riots don't happen yet, but I know they are about to happen. I don't think they're going to happen in 15. I think they'll happen in 16, probably near the end. And I think part 3 is going to start with the riots and a bunch of shit's going to happen. And I think very soon, like a couple of episodes after that, we're going to get, around episode 18, 19, 20, around there, Pamela Milton is going to start to kill her own people, literally, in order to keep her power. And it's really messed up. Like the situation is just really messed up. But that's the kind of the point of it, right? Is like, Rick would never do that to keep his power. If people didn't want him to be the leader, he's just going to be like, all right, okay, fine, I won't be the leader anymore, right? But Pamela Milton wants to do that to stay in power. And, we have, again, I just said, Pamela Milton was a good person. And she is. It's just that there's certain people who want to stay in power, who are willing to do things like that, right? And that happens in our real world a lot, so I look at it as like, Pamela Milton, is she a good person? Just sort of on the surface, but when she's tested like that, when she's pushed to that point there where she has to step down, then she might not. And also depends on the information that she's learning, right? Lance it depends on what they want to do with the arc here. This Pamela Milton character could be very different. In the comic, she's the one who's making the decisions. She's a much more stronger person, I would say. She's in charge of her own life kind of thing. She does what she wants to do. Whereas I think on the television show, I see that a little bit. But as of now, it's kind of like Lance does a lot of things, right? Lance is the one who's kind of doing everything for her. So I wonder if it's Lance or other people telling her certain things or not telling her certain things, right? That leads her to make certain decisions. So I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see again. We got to see more from Pamela Milton. We haven't seen a lot. And so, yeah, that's why this arc isn't getting really interesting right away. And episode 15 kind of is the start of that. A bunch of information is going to be coming out. We're going to learn about that list. We're going to learn about a lot of stuff. And I think the people are going to start to find out, and I think Mercer is going to switch sides. I mean, it's going to be a really big episode. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here. There is a lot more questions here, so I'm actually going to do a second Q&A today because yeah, I see a lot of good questions here. Usually I'll kind of skip some of the questions that I've already answered in like recent weeks or months. So yeah, usually I'll do that, but this time it seems like there's a lot of people here that are asking very unique questions, which is, very exciting. So yeah, in a few hours from now, I'll post my second Q&A. And also, if you want to, I guess, possibly take part in that Q&A, because I'm not sure when I'm going to be recording, then definitely go follow the Discord server and then go to the Q&A channel that's in the Idol Lounge. And just post your question in there. But thank you guys so much for posting all of your questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.